does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, a special Kickstarter review. And today I'm very excited checking out Badass Force from Funky Sheep. This is for 3 to 7 players. Age is 14 plus. It'll take about 25 to 45 minutes to play. And in Badass Force, this is a bluffing game in which you are going to be taking control of a team of badasses. And you're going to be putting one badass in front of you who's going to represent who you are. That means you are going to have a special ability that you will be able to do. Now, you're also going to be able to do all the other special abilities and all the other cards you have, the different badasses, but if you do that, you will be lying, you will be bluffing, and if you get caught, people will get points, you will die, and you might potentially go into revenge mode where things get kind of nuts. It is a lighter, simple bluffing game. Let's open it up, and I'll show you how it works. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Badass Force. So before we get started, I do want to mention this is the promotional copy I have in front of me, so take everything you see here with a grain of salt. So first and foremost, we have a handy dandy rule booklet, 8 pages, double-sided, what I have here. Assuming yours is going to have all these pictures, I think that's where all the colored spots are. But there's your rule booklet right there, and it should have you up and running pretty smoothly because the game itself is not terribly complex. So in Badass Force, what you're trying to do is you're trying to be the first person to get to 16 points on this really cool looking knife right here. And you're going to do that by using your badasses to kill other people's badasses with guns. What am I talking about? Let's go over the components, then we'll get into the gameplay. So first, component-wise, you're always going to have 7 badasses at the beginning of the game. So right now I have the basic 7 badasses, if you will. Arnold, Bruce, Chuck, Jean-Claude, Linda, Steven, and Sylvester. And each one of these is going to have its own unique special ability that when you have it played in front of you, you can do legally. This is somewhat like Coup, where if you have it down in front of you and you do it, you're not breaking any rules. But if you don't have it in front of you and you do it, you're breaking the rules. You can still do the action, but someone else might be able to call you out on it. They will be able to call you out on it if they think you're lying. And we'll go over all the different special abilities in a little bit. Next, you're going to have the guns up here, and there's a whole bunch of different guns. There's explosives that will damage a whole bunch of people. There's the grenade, which will explode if you hold on to it too long, or if someone screws you over, which you'll quickly learn is something you can do. Shotgun, which has a special blast radius if you get all the way up to there. And each of the guns has its own little distinctive flavor. There's a lot of similar ones, so you'll see the machine gun 3 or 4 times, but there is a good deal of guns in the game. Probably maybe 6 or 7 different guns. Also, there are 4 additional characters that were included in this version of the game, so I'm assuming there might even be more if the Kickstarter does well, that were not played with Uma, Sigourney, Michelle, and Dolph, and I'll just hold those real close like that in case you actually want to read them. But there you go. So let's show you how the game is played. Everyone is going to get their 7 badasses like so. They're going to get 1 weapon card randomly dealt to them. So I start off with the knife right here. They're going to take their little token and they're going to place it on normally right there, but since it's a knife, it already comes with 1 bullet, I would put it on the 1. Everyone also is going to have a player reference card. This player reference card is very useful. On the back, I wish it did have a list of the badasses, but this is actually pretty much the heart of the game right here, so I'll just walk you step by step down this. You're also going to have this little card right here, which will tell you how you will earn points, which is a good time to go over it. So, your badass is going to be a badass that is in front of you. So you're going to pick one of the badasses to put down in front of you, and each one is going to have its own special ability. So Sylvester, he's really good. You can use him to gain more bullets. I'll talk about the yellow spot down here a little bit later. Steven Seagal, use an opponent's loaded weapon by giving them 3 bullets for the next one. So if someone else's gun is ready and you have 3 bullets, you can kind of steal their action right there on your turn. Linda, steal 2 bullets from an opponent. Jean-Claude, spend 2 bullets to guess an opponent's badass identity. If right, the badass is killed, and you will be seeing other people's identity, so having Jean-Claude down there is really good. Chuck, opponents reveal their badass. If there is no Chuck, identical badasses are killed. Bruce, if you have 3 bullets, more than an opponent, spend 2 bullets to kill their badass. And then Arnold, if a weapon is used against him, spend 2 bullets to kill the attacker. So you're both going to die. So, hey. But you're going to pick one of these. I will start off nice and easy. I'll put Sylvester down there. And that is my current badass. I also have a spot over here called my graveyard where I'm going to be putting face up my badasses as they die. But that has not taken place yet. So now that everyone has gotten their badass right here, let's talk about how you can score some points. So if you're able to kill the other person's badass badass by firing a gun at them or calling their bluff or using a special ability, you're going to get 2 victory points. Now, if you can kill somebody else on a round, you're going to get +1 extra point for killing them. And if you ever kill the badass that is in first place on the knife, then you're going to get a bonus point right there. So it does have that catch-up mechanism where if you are in first place, people are going to be killing you a good deal because they're going to get an extra point. So it's not just teaming up on whoever's in first place. It's, hey, I want the extra point. Now, you also have this dog tag right here in front of you. This is going to symbolize whether or not you are in regular mode or whether you are in revenge mode, which I'll talk a little bit about later. But let's get through the gameplay first. So, I've got all these cards in my hand, and on your turn, you're going to do this. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to gain 1 bullet, or you'll gain 2 bullets if you're in revenge mode. So nobody's in revenge mode. Revenge mode is when all of your badasses have died, and then you put them back in your hand. So, boop, I go to 2 on the little bullet track, and then you're going to choose 1 and only 1 action. So the first one you could do is you could change your badass, which means you just pick this badass card up right here, and then you'd put any other badass back down, or the same one. So, you know, I could take this action because people knew I was Sylvester, so maybe I wanted to throw them off. Next, you can change your weapon. So you lose all your bullets, but you can pick out one of the 3 weapons that is displayed out here. Doesn't happen terribly often, but in some situations, it definitely could be useful. Next, you can gain more bullets by rolling the dice. And this is an interesting aspect you can do. If someone's got a close to deadly grenade, is that you can do this. So it pretty much boils down like zombie dice, where there's going to be 3 green, 2 yellow, and 1 red. And when you roll the dice, if you get 2 green, you and only you get 2 bullets. If you roll 2 yellow, everyone gets 2 bullets. If you get 2 red, everyone else gets 2 bullets. So red bad, green great, yellow good for everybody. So right now, I would get 2 bullets, everybody else would get 1 bullet. Right now, I would get 1, everyone would get 1 bullet. So it's pretty self-explanatory, but you can roll the dice to gain yourself some more bullets. So if I did that, I would gain, 2 bullets, but everybody else would have gained 1. The next action you can do is use your loaded weapon. And it's very simple. When you want to use your loaded weapon, you just say, all right, I'm killing your badass. And most of the time, there's nothing they can do, unless, of course, they have or they claim to have, like, Arnold or one of the other special ones. So that's where the coup-esque aspect comes in, because I might say, all right, I'm going to stab you. And then they might say, all right, I'm spending 2 bullets to kill, yeah. So it has that sort of coup-esque aspect there. But when you do it, you just kill somebody, then you get rid of your gun, and you get a new gun from up here. So we'll get the automatic gun, which also starts on 1, coincidentally enough. Now, what happens when your badass is dead? So let's say someone killed my Sylvester. So that goes into my graveyard right here, face up so everybody can see it. And then I get to pick another character out of here. So let's see. Yeah, maybe I'll go Linda and start stealing some bullets. And that's what you're going to do. On your turn, you are going to take 1... Oh, I think I missed one of the actions. Lost track. Use your loaded weapon, or announce the name of a badass if unchallenged applied their power. So this is where you're just going to say, all right, I have Sylvester Stallone right here, I'm going to go up 2 bullets. Or I have Linda, so I'm stealing 2 of your bullets and taking them right here. And this, once again, is where the coup-esque aspect comes in, because people can challenge you, and if they challenge you, and if they're correct, then they get points, you're dead, you're sad, and you can potentially get into revenge mode. So let's talk about revenge mode. So revenge mode happens like this. All your dudes are dead, and the game is going to rapidly proceed from here. Because the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick up all your badasses. You are going to flip this, which means at the beginning of every turn, you are now getting 2 bullets instead of 1 bullet. And now you have unlocked the super awesome bottom special abilities. So for Arnold, now he's going to kill the attacker, and Arnold is not killed. For Bruce, if you have 3 bullets more than an opponent, spend 2 to kill their badass, and you can do it again. So if you really had your gun loaded, you could potentially kill 2 people on a turn, or more, depending on which weapons you chose. Chuck, what? Come on. No, this is Chuck. Jean-Claude, as long as you're right, repeat this power without paying. So essentially, you can start guessing people one after the other, after the other, after the other, and if you have a good memory, then you can really nail some people to the wall with that card. Steven, repeat the power if possible, so same thing. Linda now gets to steal 4 bullets, 2 from someone else, though, and Sylvester gains 4. So that's what happens when you're in badass mode. But the big thing that speeds up the game when you're in badass mode is that from now on, every other player who is not in badass mode, who has their dog tag like this, is going to be gaining 1 point at the beginning of every single turn. So let's say you're playing a 5-player game, you take your turn, the next 4 players are all going to take 1 point at the beginning of their turn, which means they are rapidly going to be able to catch up or potentially end the game. Once you get to past 16 points, whoever has the most points will be the winner of the game, and that, in a nutshell, is how you're going to play Badass Force. Alrighty then, Badass Force from Funky Sheep coming to a Kickstarter near you very, very soon. I'll be sure to post that Kickstarter link down below. If this looks like it might be your cup of tea, be sure to check this one out. If you're enjoying what I'm doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below and in the comments below. Let me know, what is your favorite action movie of all time? That's really hard for me. No, it's not. You know, while it might not fit into the classical action genre that this game, you know, definitely goes for, like the 80s revenge sort of 1 versus 1,000,000, well, 1 versus, 100 soldiers sort of thing, I'm going to go with Inception, which has some of the most awesome action scenes of all time. But if we're going with that style of movie, I still got to go Terminator 2, the classic Terminator 2. That was one that I grew up on, and that really got me into action movies. I remember my dad had that on VHS, and I used to watch that an awful lot. But let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite action movie of all time? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.